It's time for The View, America. Queen Bee is probably blaring from your kid's room 24/7. But is she too sexed up for school kids? And
I just want to make out.
it's always cocktail hour on The Bachelor, but they may need a booze babysitter after this week's blackout. Get some coffee, girl. And later, funny man George Lopez talks about heading off on a black and brown comedy get-down tour with some of the funniest people alive.
My grandmother used to hit me, man, for all kinds. I want ice cream.
Plus, Donny Osmond and Rosie O are looking back at their epic feud that ended up with Donny in the doghouse. This is The View with Whoopi, Nicole Wallace, Rosie Perez, and Rosie O'Donnell. It all starts now.
To The View. Whoopi, come on, get better, girl. She'll be back next week. She promises. So Whoopi will be back. Rosie P., we love you. She's rehearsing a Broadway show. And guess who's here joining us today? Welcome back, actress Naya Rivera. The lovely Mario Cantu. From the ESPN football and college game day reporter, Samantha Ponder. We all walked out to the classic Osmond family hit, One Bad Apple, because Donny Osmond will be here later in the program. All right. How's your baby?
She's good.
Delicious?
I feel like you were so disappointed to see me this morning that I didn't bring a baby with me, so
yes,
I'm sorry.
Last time Sam was here, she had her 6-month-old, and I just held that baby, and I was the happiest person I've ever been in this show.
It's a beautiful child.
And yeah.
You did one
baby.
good thing.
Please bring her next time.
Okay, I will.
Okay, there you go. Naya, what happened yesterday?
Yes.
I remember there was a comment, and I thought, uh-oh, and what happened?
Listen, well, before I get to that, I just want to say today is my father-in-law's 60th birthday and also his wife's birthday, so I want to wish Arnie and Sherry a happy birthday. We love you.
You are a sweet daughter-in-law.
Thank you.
They're lucky to have you.
Very sweet, sweet parents. So, okay, yes, showering. Biggest topic in pop culture today, in my opinion.
Thanks to you.
Yes, thanks to me, unfortunately. Yeah, yesterday we were talking about a study that says that you're supposed to shower, I guess, once or twice every 3 days. I had an opinion on it that was supposed to be a joke. Apparently, it didn't go over so well.
And what was it you said?
I had said
Don't say it again.
that.
Don't say it again.
No, but it was supposed to be a joke, but I apologize if anyone was offended. However, I am very excited that it sparked a big conversation about how many times you should shower. I guess Ryan Seacrest right now is talking about how he should maybe cut back on showering.
Let's just remind people how it went down,
Yes.
right? I had some feedback too, mostly from the OCD crowd.
Oh, well.
So they
Because you shower 20
stood
times a
with
day.
me as a 3-time-a-day showerer. I actually thought you were on a more reasoned side of this. So I'd like to defend you today. You said, just recap what you said yesterday in case anybody missed it.
I said I thought that showering multiple times in a day to me was such a white person thing.
Yeah. And I'm white. So she was talking about me, if anyone missed that, and I shower 3 times a day. And the only people I heard from, again, were the OCD crowd. So
Well,
thank you for your support, folks.
I went into your dressing room today, and I grabbed you, and we got naked. We got into a shower, and I scrubbed her back.
Oh, gosh. Just her back.
Seriously.
Back off of Naya. She's very clean.
But I did actually read a thing in the internet last night that probably was spurred by this conversation, that doctors say that you should take a bath. Thank you. That's what I do.
And then more
No, a bath, Rosie.
Every day.
No.
Every
You
night.
sit in your own filth.
No, it's not
when you
filthy.
take a bath.
Oh, my God. You're going to be in trouble now,
My own filth It is my filth and my 2-year-old's filth.
Yeah.
Because we take a bath together, which is the best part of my day.
I bathe with my baby too, and
that fun?
listen, we wouldn't bathe our babies if we thought it was filth, would we? I mean, I have a baby.
I am not gonna bathe the baby.
Sitting, oh God.
If you had one, you would.
Maybe I'd give it to the nanny.
Yeah, that's another way to do
I got
it.
some really, really funny tweets from,
About it?
yes,
Let's
reaction
hear it.
tweets.
Oh.
So I want to read 2 of them. One of them from @JaiMusic tweeted, "When you tell the world you shower every 3 days, that says more about you, not us, Naya Rivera. Some things are better left unsaid." And that got 30 retweets and 31 favorites. And then this one is my personal favorite because it is from someone named @RetiredFilth. So I guess he like used to be filthy and now he's like, I'm done with that. I shower like every day now.
Sure.
But he tweeted, "Now white people are gonna think that we don't shower because of Naya Rivera." And that got 110 retweets and 79 favorites. So shower on retired.
I'm married to a white man, and he doesn't really like to shower all that much. He's probably going to hate that I just called him out for not wanting to shower. So it doesn't apply to everyone, not all white people.
Player.
It
He
definitely
is, which
case
makes
by
it even
case.
more gross that he's.
Oh, wow. I
Sorry.
find that interesting.
He does shower. Can I just clarify? Just not as much as I do.
All right, good
I'm
to
gonna
know.
stop.
Good to know. I'm moving on. Don't try to stop me. Former Republican Governor Mike Huckabee just went after the president and the first lady in People magazine for allowing their 16 and 13-year-old daughters to listen to artists like Beyonce, who he claims is totally inappropriate for kids their age. Okay? Have you ever listened to the lyrics that your kids listen to, and do you try to sort of protect them from that?
I don't have children, but I do. I think about this and go, when I was a kid,
Right.
adults were like, I can't believe you're listening to that and those lyrics. In the 70s, it was like the raciest lyric was Afternoon Delight.
Right.
I mean, you know,
It's pretty risky.
that was it. Now it's like, I want to get on your mojo, want to get on your
Yeah,
stick.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but now as an adult, we're like, that is disgusting that the children are listening to that
Yes,
crap.
exactly.
But you know, it's generational.
Right,
It really is.
right.
But look, the first kids are kids.
Right.
And Beyonce, I don't really think she's, at this point, that inappropriate. Not in Dreamgirls, she wasn't inappropriate. Not in Cadillac Records, she wasn't
Plus,
inappropriate.
I feel like a lot of her lyrics speak in like she's very like innuendo.
Right.
You know, like I still don't know what drinking.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so I don't really
either.
think like a kid. She's been drinking watermelon.
Well, she's
I
a
was like,
juicer, you know.
It's scary, though, to criticize Beyonce in this country. Like, that was a bold move for him to
Totally,
do that because that's like, people take their Beyonce very seriously.
Yes.
It does. I did just kind of, because I knew some Beyonce songs back in the day. I feel like I'm not cool anymore, but I went back and looked at some of the lyrics last night.
Yeah.
And there is some, I mean, my little girl's only 6 months old, so clearly she's not going to get it yet. But I don't know if I'd be cool with her singing along to some of that stuff and dancing that way either. I don't know.
I
Maybe
hear you. Listen, Mike Huckabee is a really good guy. He's someone that usually makes the Republican Party look more thoughtful. He's got friends across the partisan divide. But this cultural battlefield is a minefield, politically speaking, because I think that listen, the movie Footloose is all I kept thinking of when I heard this. When you try to repress and suppress what 13 and 16-year-olds listen to or dance to or who they talk to, it always backfires.
Right.
Right? So I think sort of the more enlightened Republican, the more enlightened parent understands their curiosity and has a conversation with their kids about it.
But I will say that as the mother of 4 teenagers, to be in the car and have my son somehow magically connect his iPhone to my car thing, which I don't know how he does
It's
it.
the Bluetooth. It's unbelievable.
Well, he feels like Houdini. He gets it and all of a sudden it's his music. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? And it's Lil Wayne, who I think is talented, but it's like, and then my wiener on my thinking, and your wiener's in my thing, and your wiener's in mine, and I'm like, holy crap. And then my son goes, yeah, and he knows all the words. What do you say? Go to your room, you know?
Well, that's the point. But he talks to you about stuff, right?
Yes.
I mean, that to me is the point. And, I think that people listen to Mike Huckabee. He has a lot of supporters and a lot of followers. And I think instead of criticizing the Obamas for letting their 13 and 6, they're not 8, they're not babies.
Right.
I think the point, the parented point, the place where people will follow you is to say, know what they're listening to and talk to them about it.
But they're not just saying, he's not just saying it's wrong for them to let their daughters listen to her. He's saying, that shouldn't be their role model. I mean, would you have
Well,
Lil
he's
Wayne
also
as your
selling a
kid's
book,
role
Sam.
model?
He's
I don't
selling
know.
a
They're
book.
always
Do you
trying to make
think
money.
Lil Wayne really thinks of himself as
No,
a
but I'm
role
saying
model?
if you're listening
I
to
don't
that,
think he wants to be a role
no,
model.
absolutely not. I'm just saying, I think in our country we think of Beyonce. A lot of people think of her as a role model for young girls, and I just know I wouldn't want my 13-year-old daughter dancing and talking like that. Like, I mean, I don't know,
would.
it's
If my
tough.
13-year-old daughter was Beyonce, like, I would be Abby Lee Miller. I would be the biggest stage mom. Go, honey! Go! Mommy loves you! Keep singing! I would love it. Take a break. Be right back right after this. Don't go away. Here's some.
Selena Gomez just hooked up with who? Why Bieber's briefs are in a bunch over who his ex just started dating.
We are back with Naya, Mario, Samantha, Nick, and I. There are always drinks flowing on The Bachelor, and this week, contestant Jordan clearly did not know when to say when. Take a look.
I just want to make out. I've been with me so long. I don't even know what to. At this moment, I haven't gotten the chance to know him. Like, I'm like, I gotta do it. Like, I need to go in for it. Now it seems awkward. Anyway, that was awkward. And I feel like I should have been like, don't be weirded out. I'm only kind of a stalker.
Okay, so it's obviously The Bachelor meets intervention. She did not get a rose, and she's claiming that she warned producers that she can have a few too many, but they kept pouring. All of this is alleged.
Okay, wait, she didn't get a rose? She didn't smell like one either. I can't believe how... Where were the subtitles? What was she saying?
I don't have any idea.
Is this on last night? This is on the show?
Yes.
But you know what? This is the thing with reality television. Producers give the people on reality, like the housewives, they give them booze, and they're like, now go. Of course they're going to do that.
Well, they
That's
don't
what
give
makes
them. There is booze provided should they choose to do
Oh,
it.
I know. And, you know, of course they're going to choose. Look.
No, that's what they want.
But, you know, look at the housewives of New Jersey. You know, I've seen 7 crazy Italian women in one room drinking. I grew up
You
with
lived
them.
it.
I sure did.
know-
It's unbelievable that I would not touch a drink.
If you were on camera. Well, I do want to say, like, along those lines, like, okay, so, like, for, oh,
Yeah,
my
that's when she was
goodness,
twerking.
no.
Twerking
She was
upside down!
Yeah, she was.
Who's this? That's not
That's
the
the same
Bachelor.
woman. Same woman. Yeah. She was twerking upside down the night before in the house, which The Bachelor didn't see.
So she's always drunk. Maybe she has a
She
problem.
obviously has a drinking problem.
She went to
Yes.
the producer and
Someone should
said
help
to them,
her.
she said to them, I'm worried about the
that's
booze.
terrible.
She said to them,
That's terrible.
but yet she still, you know,
Well,
tossed it
she,
back.
you know, alcoholism is a disease, right? And you can't will yourself to stop.
And she says she's not an alcoholic.
Well, we have evidence that might suggest otherwise. You know, when you do a show like Andy's, Bravo, Watch What Happens Live, they have drinks there, but they ask you, and if you don't want one, you don't take one.
And that's a
He
talk
wasn't
show.
drinking the night that I was there. There's certainly no.
I was gonna say, do you think she was nervous? Because I mean, like, okay, on a first date, like, how many people have to have like some cocktails to like loosen up? You know, like it's nerve-wracking. This is a very heightened experience. I'm not like saying that's amazing, but
Right.
that's a very heightened
And
experience.
it's a long period of time. They're there shooting from, I mean, until the early morning. You could see on the first episode, the sun was starting to come up.
Oh.
So they're literally drinking all night long. And obviously, it's your own personal responsibility if
right.
you're going to drink or not drink. You would think, though, they've seen the show before. Everybody knows the sloppy drunk girl every year.
Yes.
She always makes air. If you're going into that night, I think your one job, forget the rose, don't be that girl.
Yeah.
And you know what? Remember, there's a camera at you at all
But
times.
what I think is this may actually provide her an opportunity to see what she looks like when she does drink too much, and she obviously can't control how much she drinks. So maybe this will lead to her getting into recovery. You know? Maybe?
I just feel that, like, if you're on this show, you're going to go into recovery and have a show about that. I mean, these girls sign up for this. These girls have seen this show before.
Yeah.
And I think they know, they're in bikinis a lot, so I'm guessing there's a lot of pressure to be thin also. And it's just a toxic combination. You're dating on television. Dating is awkward when you're not on TV. You're drinking on television. You're competing with all these other women who are drinking and in bikinis. It just seems like, I mean, maybe that's why people watch.
Is this alcoholism or is this just like one bad night
Exhibition.
for her, you know? Yeah.
It seems to me like there may be a problem.
Yeah, I
don't think it's one
I
bad
agree.
night.
But can we just say
Because
it's
if
not...
they're doing it with cameras, they're going to do it when there's not cameras.
Her makeup didn't move though, you know?
Right,
But I feel
exactly.
like the alcohol...
Makeup, right?
1 second, go Sam.
The alcohol isn't even the most shocking part to me, though. Like, we're trying to make it normal that she's dating a guy who's dating 30 other women.
I know,
Like,
it's hard.
none
that
of
would
it's
make me
normal.
drink. I mean,
None of
yeah,
that. The whole thing would give
I
me
think
anxiety.
the whole thing is really...
Antiquated and sexist.
Well, I'd like
All
to,
right, then.
Yeah, well, but sometimes I think they do the other way, right? Sometimes it's a girl, and there are 30 guys.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's the Bachelorette.
And that's, yeah, the
There's an
Bachelorette.
ETT.
Yeah. She got married. The one that did, yeah, do they get wasted? But I saw one, Trista. She found her love. He wrote her a poem.
Yeah.
Forever ago.
Everyone else in America is aware of that, but thanks for telling us.
Yeah.
He's a fireman. Yes, I'm glad you knew that.
Of course I knew that.
Thank you.
Yes, I did. It was forever ago.
They
No,
got
nothing
married.
like
They
that.
had
I know they had a baby.
Yeah, okay.
I know something.
Okay, now I've really lost all control of the panel, and I'm really sorry about that. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a big story about a gossip blog, and I don't know what it is, but that's the tease. So stay tuned.
So this dog gets on a bus. That's not a joke. Meet a commuting canine who rides to the park all by himself. Where's he keep his bus fare?
Justin Bieber, believe it or not, is having some issues in his life. Hollywood Life blog claims that he's furious that his ex Selena Gomez has started dating a DJ who is a mutual friend of theirs. Reportedly, he thinks she's doing it to get back at him. Has an ex ever started dating a friend of yours?
Well, what did you say before? That lesbians
I said lesbians, this is standard protocol, right? You know, you meet a couple of lesbians and you're at a bar. It's like, hi, this is my new partner, Sam. And you remember Nicole? I was with her in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And Naya, she and I lived together for 3 years. And they're all friends.
I always said there's only 3 lesbians in the world. They just recycle each other.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's true. But the gay men don't do that.
No.
No, they will cut you. No, that's not a good thing. But I find it amazing that women can be friends with their exes. But I'm friends with my exes. But, you know, we're supposed to be talking about Justin Bieber.
Yeah, can we go back to Bieber?
No, I don't really give a crap, so I've just gone off the exit.
I've got more cards today for Bieber and The
All right,
Bachelor.
what's your Bieber feeling?
Okay, so my Bieber, I can't find my Bieber card, but so they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes.
But he had a lot of other girlfriends.
Well, they broke up, and then they got back together, and they posted a selfie, and then they broke up, and then he peed on stage, and then they broke up.
Okay, Selena, sweetie, you go for it. This guy's a tool. You can date any of his friends. I mean, I love her.
Awesome.
Yeah. Who cares? If the Biebs is against it, I'm for it.
Really? You're anti-Bieber?
You're anti-Bieb.
Totally anti-Bieb. And I don't think he was a very nice boyfriend to her.
Well, I mean,
so I think
he still
this is
cares.
nice
He
that
still
she's
wants
just
to be
dating.
with her.
Well,
Right.
I think that's his one true love.
He pees in
Selena.
public. I mean, she
Don't
can
date
do...
someone who pees in public.
Don't date someone who pees in public,
that's a
Selena.
good
You've
note.
heard it here.
Well, then that's half the men in the country.
You know, I saw her at that party, and she
kidding.
looked happy, and I guess that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, which party was that?
The Golden Globes, the in-style.
Oh, that's where she was with the DJ guy, and he got angry. Was he there as well?
I don't know if Justin Bieber was
Okay,
there.
you didn't see him.
I did.
He drives drunk, I read. I mean, he's bad news.
Nicole is not
my
a fan
God, I'm
of
getting
Justin Bieber.
stressed.
He once fed his puppy a Hershey bar?
Yeah, did he?
I don't know, I made that
I
up.
don't have that.
I know, you don't have it because
And
it's
guess
not
what
true.
else? They photoshopped his butt and his package and the Calvin Klein
Well, they're saying
commercials.
they didn't do
Is that true?
There was a lot of controversy that his six-pack and his hiney were a little enhanced in Photoshop for the underwear ads. I don't know if it's true, but frankly, you know, he looks pretty
He looks beautiful.
enjoyable.
But you know what?
Whoa. But I'm a mom. I look at him and think, oh, look how nice my son looks. I don't look at him and think, do that to me.
Wait,
Believe
there?
me, I
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
They gave him a little bit of a butt because his butt is like
Can't even see his
concave.
butt in that. Oh, I don't don't know. I haven't looked at his butt, but anyway, let's move on. Of course you have. New research found that women who are bisexual are more likely to suffer mental health problems than lesbians.
Well, Rosie, no wonder I'm crazy.
That could be it. No wonder. I am really the bastion of mental health, as you can tell.
Me too. I've never touched a breast in my life.
That's not
I'm
true.
so healthy. I'm a healthy homosexual.
Let's change it right now, Mario. How was it? Is it all right? Clean it off.
I'm bleeding.
You're all right. You'll make it through. It's okay.
Well, it's interesting because I think the mental illness, I don't know.
You okay? Are you okay, honey?
Yeah.
I think I sexually traumatized her because, like, when I was forcing him to do it, it wasn't good.
Oh, Mommy. I think the bisexual thing, look, it's a double problem because you're attracted to 2 times the people. You're going to get jilted by 2 times the people. You could be left at the altar by 2 times the people. It's a lot of crap. It's a lot to deal with.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any connection between, you know, I feel like the debate has been had over marriage equality, and we're now moving in the direction where same-sex marriage is fully accepted by the whole world over. Do you think that makes it harder for bisexual people? Because there's not really a movement, you know what I mean?
Well, because it's such a gray
in some ways, yeah, that's the thing. What constitutes being bisexual? Bisexuals feel marginalized by the gay community. They don't feel accepted, and they don't feel as though, you know, some people feel as though bisexuality is a cop-out, that it's not actually really true. I think all sexuality is on a spectrum, right? From 100% gay to 100% straight. Oh, I didn't mean to point at you. And everyone else falls in the middle.
It's a very gray area.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right about that, and I think people don't know what to do with it. And you know,
when you can't fit into a box.
And when you're younger, you think, like, for me, it's like the projection of, oh, I used to think that's a cop-out until I met truly bisexual people, and I'm like, this really exists in the world.
But you say truly, Rosie, maybe you can answer this. How do you define, who's defining these terms?
I know, that's the hard thing. You know, I was talking to my kids at the table, and I said, you know, when I lived with Michael for 1.5 years, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, when I was 28, I lived with a man for 1.5 years. They're like, so you're bisexual? I'm like, well, maybe then I was, but I'm not innately. I think I was trying to figure it out, like most people try to figure it out. It's not clear-cut. You look in the mirror, you have blue eyes. There's no distinction, right? But the sexuality is something you have to come to terms to and accept. All of a sudden, I feel like Dr. Ruth, and I don't know why. We're going to take a break, and then George Lopez is going to solve all the problems that we can. Don't go away.
Love a good underdog story? Comedian George Lopez has one of the best you've ever heard. Next.
You know, I'm going to sound like I'm old because I am, but I will say that in our day, we had pop idols that you could be proud of, like Donny Osmond.
Yeah! That is the truth.
You know, he was a little bit country, not a little bit elky, like Justin Bieber.
Yes, exactly. A whole different thing.
Yeah, come on.
I'm glad you agree with me.
Absolutely. And listen, I showered 3 times a day because I shower because I want to smell white. They smell fantastic. Sunflowers, come on.
Too funny. Now, so listen, George, this movie is a very serious topic, and how did you get involved? It's such a great subject.
Well, in 2004, these 4 Latino kids entered this robotics competition, and they did it just to, you know, because they were very smart kids. So they enter this competition, they go against colleges because they figure if we lose to colleges, it won't be as bad as losing to high school. The robot cost under $800, and these 4 kids, they beat MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Yale. It's an amazing story.
I remember reading the article in Wired magazine about these kids and seeing it on the local news. And it's an incredible story. How did you make the leap from what you were doing to being involved in this project?
Well, you know, Spare Parts is the perfect title. I mean, I got my wife's kidney in me, so I'm spare parts. So,
yes, you know,
but this.
We're glad about that.
But there's people that aren't glad. There's people that. But this story came to me, and the fact that, you know, Marissa Tomei would be in it, Academy Award winner, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Esai Morales, and you know, dreams, especially right now, we're talking about the tension in this country, but dreams have no color.
Yes.
And these 4 little Latino kids are just brilliant. They're intelligent, and the dream should continue like laughter should continue. So this is a great little movie that I think can have a big weekend, Mario.
It's a really good movie. I saw it last night and loved it. And you're really wonderful in it. And those young men are fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
You know, when I was a kid, I wasn't much into engineering. You know, I was still trying to figure out what 2 crayons made green. You know, when you're doing that.
Right.
You know.
George, when I watched this, I got a little emotional because my mom substitutes at Carl Hayden. I went to Central High School, which is in the same district. We played Carl Hayden all the time, so I saw that kind of experience going on around me all the time. How neat was it for you to just represent that community the way you were able to?
Oh, thank you. That's, you know, when you do stand-up, it's quite a solitary life, you know, and you never know what's going to happen to you, and you never expect anything good to happen to you. And a dream can never survive by itself. So the fact that these 4 kids who were so intelligent put together this robot and won as a team, and they continue to win, and they had problems with documentation. So what they did was the competition moved to Canada so that these kids couldn't compete.
Right.
Come on, they're like, let's take it to Canada. They can't cross the border.
That's all
right.
Did they go to Canada and try to win there? Or
no, they got caught
they
before
got
they could
caught.
cross. But no. So what makes it good is that, you know, every kid should dream, and everybody should dream no matter how old you are. So this is a perfect movie.
So you went back to your elementary school.
I did.
Recently, and recreated a photo that you took 42 years ago.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Oh my God.
Can we see this? So tell us the story behind it.
You look exactly the same.
Oh my God! Thank you. I went to that school, and you know, I was very shy and introverted. I didn't have a father, and going to that school, you know, that's where I went to my first dance in this auditorium. And then when we were kids, they gave out toys. We never knew where they came from. So for the last 9 years, I've given out a toy to every kid at that school. I go myself and I hand them out.
How beautiful.
And you were brought up by your grandmother, though, am I correct?
And I was brought up by my grandmother.
She was tough, huh?
Who, you know, I said, Grandma, one time I said, do you love me? And she said, I have to. You're my grandson. So, thank God for that law. So in that auditorium is where so many, you know, interesting things happened to me. One time we were taking pictures and we were all wearing T-shirts because we didn't have a shirt. And then the photographer's like, why are all these 12 kids wearing T-shirts? So they took one guy's shirt and we all wore the shirt. So like 14 guys in the same class have the same shirt. And at that auditorium now, they named the auditorium after me. I think we have a...
Wow, beautiful.
What a beautiful legacy, George. What an amazing thing. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Spare Parts.
Breaking news.
You want your weather,
AccuWeather.
your traffic, and you're in luck.
Because New York's best mornings start right here. Eyewitness News.
Good Morning America.
Wake up, New York. Wake up, New York. With ABC 7.
For decades now, and he's just released his 60th record, the soundtrack of my life. Please welcome Donny Osmond. Donny Osmond!
From my first to my 60th.
That's amazing. And can I tell you that...
Oh, it's so good to see you.
I think I have all 60 of your records.
Are you serious?
No, I'm a huge
thank
fan,
you for
as
that
you know.
reception. If I'm ever feeling depressed, I'm going to walk on this stage.
And you should, honey, because we love you. You are part of our life, our history, and we grew up loving you, and your voice is as astounding now as it was when you were a little boy.
Thank you.
Really, you're an amazing talent. Amazing. And I love seeing you on Broadway. You and Joseph was one of the best things I've ever seen. Are you going to do that again soon? Any Broadway stuff?
You're never going to get me back in that loincloth.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, but
another show.
I do want to go back to Broadway because, you know, you and I should do something together.
In a minute, honey.
We really should.
I would love to. I really would.
Because there's something about Broadway, it's the real thing. You can't hide behind any trickery, any of the studio. I love Broadway. I'd love to do something in the West End one of these days.
Yeah, me too.
As soon as we're finished with Vegas, then
tell everybody about Vegas.
Unbelievable. We're supposed to be there for 6 weeks back in 2008, and we just signed a 2-year extension. It's going to be an 8-year run.
How about that? Unbelievable. How do you like living there? Are you commuting back and forth? What are you doing?
I commute back and forth. I live in Utah, but I've done shows in Las Vegas ever since I was little. I played hotels that don't even exist anymore.
Right.
You know, because it's the entertainment capital of the world, and to get the award for Best Show of Las Vegas, that's humbling. I'm really blessed.
And deserved, sweetie. Your stage fright stuff been? We talked very honestly about both of our anxiety issues that we have. How's that been going for you?
It's okay.
No,
no, it's something you deal with you know, for the rest of your life. Because we're both perfectionists. We want to be the best we can be.
Yes.
So, no, I'm doing fine.
Good, good.
Absolutely.
Dancing with the Stars, you were fantastic.
I won the trophy.
You won the trophy! And I know from knowing and loving you...
Did you vote for me?
Yes. But more importantly, who did not win?
I'm not going to say it because she's going to beat me up like she always... No, my sister LaToya didn't win. So...
Yeah,
no, but she was great. She came in 3rd place. She did a great job.
Yes, she did.
She did a great job.
And she looks fantastic. I just saw her on something. She looks amazing.
She looks beautiful.
How are your grandbabies? How's Debbie?
You're not going to believe this.
What?
We're expecting our 8th grandbaby.
Oh, my Lord. Now, how different is that from being a dad for you? How different?
Well, when they cry, you send them home.
Yeah, that's the good
I don't
part.
have to change the dirty diapers anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've been married for how long?
37 years.
And the secret to that, would you say? Your faith, I know, is very...
Our faith is very strong,
yes.
but whenever Debbie and I have an argument, she's always right. That's the way we're... Now, it's interesting because on my album, all these songs have a specific meaning. And that's why it's the fabric of my life. That's why I called it the soundtrack of my life.
Right.
Elton John's song, Your Song, one of my favorite songs. I love that song. 1976, I double date with my brother Jay. And I'm dating this girl I really like. Her name was Tammy, and Jay dated this girl named Debbie. And we're sitting there watching Elton. He sits down to play Your Song. And I vividly remember looking over at my brother Jay and his date, thinking, someday I'm going to marry my brother's date.
No way!
I stole my brother's date, and we've been married now 37 years.
And is he still talking to you?
We haven't spoken since.
No, you haven't spoken since.
But see, all of the songs have those kinds of stories, encounters with Elton John, Paul McCartney, Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson.
Yes.
I recorded Ben.
Oh, which I loved so. That was such a love song.
That was written for me.
It was?
That was originally my song. And I was busy touring with my brothers, and they had to finish the movie, so they said, well, there's this little kid named Michael Jackson. He's available. Let's get him to sing it.
Yeah, it's a shame nothing ever happened with his career.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
you know.
What can you do? When we come back, we're going to talk some more, and maybe you'll possibly sing a little?
I'll sing a song from the album.
All right, then. Don't go away. Donny Osmond's 60th record when we come back.